Um, yeah, this is going to be a rant, but this is going to be part two of the video that I made about organic human connections, aka togetherness. Um, this is going to be a part two. Like I said before, or like I said before, if you don't like what I'm saying, please leave my channel because I do this for me, for venting purposes. I do this for me, just to release the stress. I do this for me because I have the right to voice my opinion, and I don't give a damn what people think. So it is what it is. So back to the subject at hand. Um, I want to talk about something. Organic human connections, togetherness. Yes, we have to get back to that. You know, about the whole technology thing. Technology is a blessing, but it's also a curse. And I realize when it comes to a lot of inventions, are a blessing, but at the same time, it can turn into a curse. But it's how you use it. That's what counts. Just like magic, you have white magic and you have black magic, but it's how you use it. It depends on the person who's using that magic, who's using those powers. Um, then okay, what I mean by part two of this video, I want to talk about self improvement. Now there was a guy by the name of Savvy Guy. This dude named Savvy Guy, and I respect his opinions. I respect his viewpoints. There's some things that I really agree with in his videos. I really fucking do. What I'm saying? Big ups to him. But it was a topic that he made. It was about self improvement is a lie. Talking about he don't believe in self improvement, and I get where he's coming from, but he's talking about I get what he's coming from, and I respect that. But here's one thing I don't disagree. Here's something that I don't agree with him. What he means by self improvement, he's talking about on a physical level. He's talking about the physical sense as far as working out or buying fancy clothes, trying to look good towards other people, especially towards the opposite sex, so trying to look good towards the females and all that stuff by buying superficial nonsense. See, my ideology when it comes to self improvement, I'm talking about knowledge of self. I'm talking about knowing who you are. And by knowing who you are, in my honest opinion, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But knowing the self, that's a form of self-improvement. Because think about it, nobody knows you better than you. And also by knowing you, and also by knowing the self, nobody else can tear you down. Because like I said before, nobody knows you better than you. And also by gaining knowledge of self, nobody can tear you down because you know who you are. That's self confidence. That's self confidence right there. That's a form of self improvement. The more you know things, listen, the more you know yourself, the more stronger, the more stronger and indestructible you become when it comes to the mental and spiritual. Because I realize that when it comes to the body, the body, the body does count, but at the same time, what really counts more is the mental and spiritual. I realize that the brain is a very fragile thing, and I realize the brain and the spirit is very fragile. But once you have a strong mind and a strong spirit, the body's going to follow. I'll say it again. Once you have a strong mind and a strong spirit, the body will definitely follow. See, the body is just like a shell. It's like a motherfucking car. But the brain and the spirit, I should say, is kind of like the computer and also the engine of that car. And when you turn the computer and that engine on, the car is going to follow. The car is going to move because it's being moved by not only the engine but also the computer processing system of that car too. If you get what I'm coming from, But back to what Savvy Guy said about, self improvement, you know, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying, but he's talking about from a physical aspect. He's talking about from a physical from a physical sense. I'm speaking as far as a mental and spiritual sense. As far as getting to know who you are from the inside, knowing your strength and your weaknesses. That's like I said before, by knowing your strength and your weaknesses and mastering of self, that's a form of self-improvement too. That's a form of self-improvement. So I won't disregard self-improvement altogether. I will not do that. I will not do that because think about it, man. If I've been saying this for so many years, man. I've been saying this for a very long time. But Savvy Guy, no disrespect, but when it comes to self-improvement, if you don't know yourself, what do you know? It's more than just money. It's more than just prized possessions. It's more than just knowing what other great people have done. Knowing the self is all about finding your own true greatness, whether it's big or small. It's all about finding your own true greatness, my man. And I know it may sound cliche. I know that it sounds, very, very classical, very cliche, but it's the truth, though, man. It's the fucking truth. Think about it, man. Nobody knows you better than you. And if you don't know yourself, what the fuck do you know? And I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But knowing the self is a form of self-improvement. Listen, man, you need to know who you are. But listen, before you enter into this world, before you travel into this world, you better know who the fuck you are. Because if you don't, somebody else is gonna come along and do it for you. You'll be the puppet, and the person behind the scenes will be pulling your motherfucking strings. They'll be pulling your strings, so you won't have control. So to say that self improvement is a fallacy or is full of shit, I don't think it's full of shit. Now, when it comes to the mental, I don't think it's full of shit altogether. See, like I said before, you're speaking from a physical aspect as far as, dressing up, buying certain things, experiencing the finer things in life. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Ain't nothing wrong with experiencing the finer things in life. You know what I'm saying? If you got the money for it, go ahead and do it. And like I said before, it's okay to have nice things. It really is okay to not have nice things. Damn it, if you work hard for it, go ahead and get it. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You deserve it. But to disregard self-improvement altogether, I have to disagree with you on that one, my man. Because like I said before, knowing the self is a form of self-improvement. Because nobody knows you better than you. And once you develop the process of knowing the self, that's a form of self-esteem. That's a form of raising your self-esteem. Because nobody will have the ability to tear you down. Because you know who you are. Nobody can never ever tear you down because you know what you can and cannot fucking do. Now, here's my thing. By knowing the self, I'm going to ask you one thing, Savvy Guy. No disrespect. By knowing who you are, by knowing the self, can you buy that? Can you buy that with money? Your strength and your weaknesses, by knowing who you are, can you buy that? That's my question. That's my question to you. Can you actually buy that? Can you actually buy knowing the self, knowing who you are? That's what I want to know. But don't get it, I'm not trying to put you on blast and all that stuff. I'm not trying to disrespect you. But we live in a time right now that money is over everything. Money is over God. Money is over principles and all that good shit. We want to put money over the universe. And like I said before, can money buy self-esteem? Can money buy common sense? Can money actually buy knowledge of self? That's my question I want to pose to you, man. Can money actually buy knowledge of self? This is my question to you, Savvy Guy. And not just to you, Savvy Guy, but all these other motherfuckers out here too that want to that wants to disregard self-improvement altogether. I'm gonna say it right now. Guys like, like not only you savvy guy, but guys like Negro Ninja, and all these other guys out here that want to disregard self improvement altogether. Because, like I said before, knowing the self is self improvement right there. Knowing the self is self improvement. Because nobody can never tear you down if you know your strength and your weaknesses. You know what you can and cannot do. So nobody cannot tear you down. Simple. Yeah, but that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. But like I said before, this is just a response to Savvy Guy and all these other guys that's out here, on YouTube that want to disregard self-improvement, altogether. I'm talking about disregarding self-improvement altogether, you know. And I get where they're coming from as far as on the physical level, as far as buying fancy things. But when it comes to knowledge of self, knowing who you are, you can't just you can't really discard that. You can't really discard it because knowing the self is all about you. And nobody cannot take that from you. No amount of money, no amount of dollars and cents can take that from you. But here's one thing I will say to everybody that's listening right now. Now, I got this from this guy named Gene Deal, and he was right about this. Don't let a dollar make your sense. I'll say it again. Don't let a dollar make your sense. Because if once you make a dollar make your sense, then guess what? You will be a fool. You will be a fool with money. And you know what they say about money and fools? A fool and his money will be departed in all their ways. And that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, thank you so much and have a good day.